people today. I'm intimidated. Go ahead.
You guys looking like you'll be at full strength, or where do you think you'll be for Sunday's game?
Won't know till then. We're gonna have a number of guys limited today, so I hope they make it. But we'll see.
Have you decided who will start, Rita or Morris, and does it really matter?
Not really. Not to me. We'll see how the week goes. You know, this is Breeda's first full week back from his injury, so we got to see how healthy he is, and probably depends on a lot of personnel groupings, what plays we're running, things like that. So probably won't have an idea on that till Saturday night.
And will Person get the start at right guard?
He's leading it right now, but those guys are competing. As I've said, I think last time I talked to you guys, Josh is behind a little bit because he hasn't had the reps, but that doesn't mean he can't pass him up this week. It doesn't mean he can't any week that they're going. That'll be some tough competition to me all year.
Is Malcolm Smith still battling a hamstring? Is his availability kind of up in the air too?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, he'll be limited today, so we'll see how that goes.
How far along were you in game planning for the Vikings before Jared got hurt? And how much does that change?
You don't get anything down on paper and give it to your team, but since the day we've signed him, we've been game planning for Minnesota, so I'm not gonna lie, it changes things pretty drastically. When you go for that was your first target in free agency, so once you do it, you have a plan on how to use them, and especially going into week one. So that definitely changes, but we didn't have them before, so we've done a lot of different things without that. We were going to do some different things with them, which we have other guys on the roster are capable of doing that stuff, but it's just how much you want to do it and things like that, and that changes formations and everything. So we definitely had to go back in and change some things, but definitely still excited about what we got.
Well, Alfred has not been known as a big-time pass catcher throughout his career. Does it present more of a tell when Breida's in, Alfred's in?
I think it does if Breida never runs the ball and Alf never catches the ball, but we'll be balanced in both, and it's not like that. It's very rare you can have a guy on your roster who can't catch it all or can't run it all. Then if you only are in passes, they can call you a running back, but you're a receiver. So you got to balance all that out, and we have the running backs who can do that. Guys do certain things better than others, but all three of the guys that'll be up, I feel confident all three of them can definitely run and catch.
Where have you seen the biggest growth in Kirk Cousins this game from when you had him to where he is now?
What's that?
Kirk Cousins, where have you seen the biggest growth in his game from where you had him to where he is now?
Just reps. I only had Kirk for a couple games. I was with him 2 years, but I could have played many games with him. And he's got to play a lot of football since then. So the more football very good quarterbacks get to play, usually the better they get. And Kirk went through his up and downs at the beginning, but he was always talented and made of the right stuff. And I think that's why he's became what he has today.
What type of challenge does Minnesota's defense present to your offense in general and Jimmy specifically?
A lot. They're a very talented defense in terms of, I think if anyone said their best talent was their D-line or their linebackers or their secondary, I'd say whichever one you said is right. You could argue any of those three. So they got a lot of talent there with high draft picks, guys who have made second contracts, and it's a very good scheme too. Just what George and Mike have done over the years, it's extremely sound. And then you got 11 guys who've been playing together for about 4 years. I know they added Sheldon. That's the 3 technique, but the last 10 guys have been there for a while, and that continuity of good talent with a good scheme is why their numbers were as good as anyone's last year in pretty much every category.
What's the first thing, when you sat down with Jimmy to go over film on the Vikings, what's the first thing you told him to watch for?
I didn't tell him a first thing. I mainly today we put in all the stuff that we're trying to attack them at first and second down. So you try to go through their looks and how they play their fronts and their coverages. You got to be ready for anything, and they have their base defense, but whatever you get them with, they have every adjustment possible to take that away. So we got to go in with an open mind and see how they play us, and just be ready to execute.
What are your expectations for McGlinchey, just given the atmosphere, the guys he's going to go against, and that it's his first NFL game?
It's going to be a big challenge, but I have high expectations for McGlinchey. That's why we took him. That's why we're putting him in there, and he's been great since the day he's come in. So whether it's a rookie in his first game or whether it's a 10-year vet, it's going to be a challenge playing in that dome versus their personnel and the noise. So I don't expect him just to sit and dominate. I don't expect anybody to. But I'd be surprised if he didn't play at a high level, and I think he'll give us a chance to win this game.
Kyle, expectations for this team obviously different from where they were last year at this time. How about for you? You have 16 games under your belt now. How different is this than last year as you approach the opening game?
It is different. I feel a lot. I know our team a lot better. I feel we've improved too, so I feel more confident in that aspect going into the year. And I'm just excited. You get to sit around and think about it all year since the last game ended. Our players that came in so excited the first day we saw them in the off season. Preseason's a grind for everybody, and we were all glad to get through that. And now we're just pumped to play some football. So it's going to be long, 4 days or whatever it is left. It's been a long couple days, but we just can't wait to get this started and just get into the groove.
The Vikings signed Colt to continue to their practice squad. Does that concern you at all, or had you not even started to game plan for Minnesota?
No, it's not like Cole knew our game plan or would have been able to memorize it, but hopefully the stuff he tells them, we got double moves off all that stuff, so hopefully they listen to him.
Kyle, you've gone against a Zimmer defense, I think, in the last 3 stops as a coordinator. Do you go back and just see, have you gone back to those games to see what was effective against them?
You do to a degree. I don't want to get into it too much, but I know they do, so we do also. So there's only so many ways you can attack certain coverages, and he's been very similar for a long time. Going back to playing him when he was in Cincinnati, and I was at Houston, or when I was at Washington, and time he was in Dallas. So he's a real good coordinator. Does all the stuff, like I said earlier, it's very sound, and there's just not that many secrets to it. And you got to play very well versus these guys. You got to execute. I talked about their talent and their scheme, and anytime you play against a group that's played together that long, it's 11 guys recognize plays very fast. They tee off on people very fast because there's 11 guys can think very similar, and that's to me the biggest challenge. So there's not going to be much secrets in this game. We got to play well. We got to execute, and it's going to be a hard battle.
What are kind of the basic tenets of a Mike Zimmer defense? When you go up against him, I think you have like 2 or 3 times, or 3 times in the past.
Yeah.
What do you expect to see?
I know.
Over to the
Yeah, they're very sound in the run game. They play their gaps well. They play more match coverages and stuff. So, it's a little similar to our defense in terms of their philosophy and stuff, but their coverages are a little bit different. They play a little bit more 2-shell than our guys. It's not always an 8-man front, but they have 2 very physical safeties that even when they are playing in a 2-shell, those guys can show up very fast, and it can very quickly become an 8-man front. So, it presents a lot of challenges.
I know you're busy game planning, obviously, but there was news with Colin Kaepernick getting an endorsement deal from Nike. Just curious if you have any reaction to that.
Not really. I don't have a reaction to probably anything that's happened on this planet in the last 4 days. I apologize for that, and that'll continue for about 6 more months. Sorry.
Anything else?
Kyle, in the offseason challenge, joked that you were in mourning once it became clear you wouldn't be able to get Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Did you ever tell him how funny you thought that was?
I told him how bad of a choice of word that was. But no, I understood what he was trying to say. I still do have a lot of respect for Kirk. And I think he's in a very good situation and went to a very good place. And I'm very happy for him for that, with what he's been through. And I'm extremely happy with who we have here and where we're at and the decision that we made on who to go with before that.
When you guys were mapping out the future of the team and looking at your quarterback options in the 2017 offseason, did you guys go ahead and start talking about 2018 and the possibility that Kirk would be available?
Yeah, we talked about every single possibility for quarterbacks. I think the first day I got here off a plane. So, and always knew that was a strong possibility because I didn't think they were going to franchise him 3 years in a row like no one else did. So, and I thought we'd have a very good chance. So, I think that's what we knew was a very strong possibility of happening. And I think we fell into another alternative option that was pretty darn good.
2 more, please. All right.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.